So because we're grazing, right, we have like this aversion to killing things because animals can pretty much eat anything that's out here, right? And that's the nice thing about sheep is they'll eat weeds, they'll eat grass, they'll eat everything that's here, right? So we don't really like to kill stuff, but at the same time, we understand if we're going to grow annuals, we're going to have to kill stuff. Except when what we're finding now is really exciting because we're finding that we're not having to if we are using like your Elmer stuff. So if you look here, we went into like this was a sorghum sedan field. This is a warm season annual with all kinds of weeds in here. We grazed it, and we grazed it pretty hard. And then we came in and we planted like into a highly competitive environment. And you look and follow that, and that's a really nice stand as you get all the way through there, right? Mm-hmm. So like that's darn near 100% stand all the way through like this messy, and so that's a cool season annual, right?
Oh wow!
So now, what's happened is we're gonna have this stuff which grows up and it's gonna die and it's gonna be brown and that's gonna be just a little extra to balance, and then all the other weeds. But then in this winter, this is all just gonna fill out. Because it's popping up and it's healthy. It's going to just keep growing. If we ever get a rain,
good luck. Yeah.
But again, like here's a row here, here's a row here. Like eventually we're on kind of the end rows here too. And this, and by the way, this is the compaction area right here where we drive, right? Mm-hmm. So you're seeing all these things in all of these situations that it just shouldn't grow.
Yeah. Yeah, those are doing pretty good. There you go.
Shoot on the roadway, going back that way.
Yeah. Right here. This is there's a lot of crabgrass here. There's a lot of clover in there, and you can just you can see them just go down the road here. And again, we've done this for several years, and we've always tried it, and it's never worked. So, and we can there's spots where we turn it off, and it didn't grow. So if you look out here into this. The fun thing about this was all sorghum sedan, and Justin came out earlier. See how there's kind of some bare spots?
Yeah.
So we planted this earlier, and we had problems with our pumps. We had filters that clogged up, and so the places where it didn't grow is where I can show you on our map. That's where we didn't apply any of your product. So it's out there, like these bare spots. But what's funny is we came back in with your. We came back in here with Elm Dirt product. What do I call that, by the way?
Farm blend.
Farm blend.
Yeah.
I came back in here with the farm blend, and you're starting to see not only is the sorghum sedan greening back up, it's there's been zero nitrogen out here all summer, so it's greening back up since we put it back in, and at the same time we actually have a better stand now than we did this summer.
Oh wow!
So it just continues to grow, and there's something else over here I'll show you too.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
this is really important for us because if we have a cool season perennial base, right? We're shooting for 70% cool season base. All summer we don't have enough energy to finish an animal well. It becomes a grass finished animal that doesn't have enough sugar that then gets lean and stringy and gamey flavor, right? So if we have 20% annuals, that's about what, then that gives us enough energy to finish all summer on, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. The problem is you got to get it started,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to restart succession somehow, right? And that's where we can use a herbicide or we can use tillage. We don't want to use either of those for multiple reasons. We can also use the bomb on wheels.
Yeah.
And it's, we can use that. But again, that's expensive and takes a long time, and all the neighbors always call the police on me. But then the cool thing here is we're finding that we don't have to. And now the question is, at what point, how far can we push that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then this is kind of the easy one to see. So if you walk in, if y'all go see this other place too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the really fun one. So this is our chestnut orchard. So this always has to be a grass that we're going to mow short. It's always going to be a cool season grass, right? Okay. But we thought I was planting this other field of sorghum sedan. I still had 20 gallons left, and I had some seed left, and it was 2 in the morning. So I said, why not? We'll go plant in the chestnuts, right? Because what could go wrong driving a tractor through the middle of a bunch of trees, right? So anyway, I went in, and this is like early May, so super competitive fescue grass, right? And fescue, and there's orchard grass in here too. And just planted a strip of this stuff all the way through. And you see a really, really nice stand of sorghum sudan into a really, sorry, into a pretty nice patch of grass. And that's like, so now we're getting an annual grass to grow. Sorry. So now we're getting an annual grass to grow into a perennial.
Okay.
So it's like now we're not talking about not restarting succession, but how do we get this to come up in that part? And you can see here, like this is where we get to the end, and I turned it off somewhere in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably turned it off there. It dribbled a little bit out left, and this is the stand that we got without it.
Wow.
So there's the farmland, and here's without it.
That's incredible. You can really see that difference.
Yep. And by the way, this has been grazed 4 times this summer.
4 times?
Yep.
Wow.
And it just comes back just as strong.
So here, initially, we had a really good stand in a really weedy environment. Anyway, so if you look right here in furrow, and you see this all the way through, and it's getting harder to see now, and I showed Justin this before too, right, that's Korean Lespedeza, okay? Like, wonderful feed, but we did not plant that this year. Like, that was here last year and the year before, but we didn't plant it when we planted this sorghum sudan.
Okay.
And so everywhere that we put this stuff, we saw this stuff germinate.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're like, and it was just there for a year, and it's like in every row, and in between, it's not there.
Huh.
Really interesting. What we wanted, we got.
Yeah.
We got emergence. We got the good vigor early, and so it'd be kind of curious to see what happens with that. So.
Right.